Tommy, I'm sorry to interrupt. I also apologize for my behavior before. I think I'm ready to talk. Is that okay? Hi, my name is Dan, you know, and I'm an addict. I've been a slave to my addiction for 61 years. 61 years. My addiction is older than all the friends I had in my life. Can you imagine if John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin lived as long as my terrible compulsions? Tommy, you help me out here. I don't know where to start. Where would you think I should start? Okay, I'll begin at the beginning. To be perfectly honest with you, my mom got me hooked when I was 12 years old. Yeah, she set me on the path straight to addiction, compulsion, consumption. Up to that one instant, I was hooked. There was no going back. And sometimes it was hard for me to get a fix, so I had to rely on my mom for what she could provide. And time went on, and I stumbled through school. Grade school was all kind of a blur. I can't really remember much, honestly. Limped through high school with all the bullying, name-calling, humiliation. I stuck with it. And I graduated, got my diploma. Actually proud of that. And I got accepted up at a college in Syracuse, New York. Yeah. I was accepted at a school named Cazenovia. I'm so fucking old, the school doesn't even exist anymore. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's right, it's just beautiful, gorgeous lake town. Yeah, well, I got accepted. It's no wonder the place shut down. I wanted to enroll in their EMT program. I thought that might be a good path for me, a good startup. But it got interrupted. In 72, I was shipped off to Nam. The drugs there? Heroin, opium, meth, you name it. You could forget what anybody else says, because over half the guys that went there were on that shit, or some shit. And it was all good shit. It was great shit. The government knew all about it, of course. Yeah, sure. But when it finally leaked into the public, Nixon, yeah, Buddy Nixon, he instituted the Golden Flow program. And that's where the troops had to submit like a clean test if they wanted a plane ticket home. Dirty test, well, you stayed longer. Didn't get that plane ticket. And I stayed a lot longer. But at that time, I almost didn't care. The heroin, it was amazing. It's just amazing. and it was plentiful. It was all over the place. You couldn't not run into it. Yeah. Yeah. You could do anything with it, you know? Anything you wanted. You could crumble it up and roll it up in your cigarette. You'd snort it. You'd shoot it, you know. Cook your eggs with it. Sprinkle it on your cereal in the morning. Whatever you had to do to get things done, you did it. Eventually, well, not long after I got there, really, inevitability struck, you know. Why all the fine young men were sent there? Started killing. And, you know, with killing everywhere and drugs everywhere constantly, it's like in the midst of all that, there was this strange structure and all these weird celebrations. It was a mess. It was just complete chaos. And at times, I didn't know who I really was or what I was doing. You have to do what you have to do. And I did every goddamn thing I could do. Killing, drugging. You know, after a while, I felt that my time there was never going to end. This mission was going to go on forever. Then, a miracle. I actually got a clean test. I passed. And I got a plane ticket home. Stateside. You know, not everybody had the luxury to hide for a decade in Canada. Huh? Oh, yeah. I got into a community college. And I earned my EMT stripes. Got a job, went to work. You know, the issues that I had before I went to NAM and the issues that I picked up in NAM, I didn't stay in NAM. No, they came right along home with me. It was the only baggage TWA didn't lose in those days. Oh, absolutely, I help people. I actually helped a lot of people, but you know, none of that made up for or excused what I did with all those drugs or all the other shit I pulled. No. Addiction. It's like a Siamese twin. As much as you want to sever yourself from it, cut it off, throw it away, kick it in the ditch, you can't. It's a part of you. Inextricably a part of you. And it has a voice and a face all its own. This dark passenger. My Frankenstein's monster. And it talks to you constantly. You're obliged to listen because it won't shut up. And if you try to ignore it, if you try to push it away, you go so far as try to cut it out of you, ignore it, forget that it's there, it'll punish you. It will punish you mercilessly. It'll batter you with memory after memory after memory after memory after fucking memory. And after a while, you know, you just have to give in. Just to stop the noise. Stop the noise. Stop the noise. Trauma, like in NAM, that's often considered a convenient companion to addiction, almost an excuse for it. But there's no excuse, no. Trauma did not create my addiction. That cocksucker was with me long before I got to NAM. Yeah. The trauma didn't help it. Trauma made it confusing. Noise, constant noise, so I had to handle that trauma, deal with it. And I did. Wiped the trauma away, but see, there's an irony here, because I basically cleaned house for the dark passenger. Gave him a new set of clothes. Gave him a good wash. She's nice and comfortable in a nice clean house. So his voice, it didn't get so much louder, but it became crystal clear. Crystal clear. And I handled it. Years went by, and I thought the dark passenger and I had made a pact. Sort of a deal. And we tolerated each other, I guess you could say that. And then one day I felt that, after years, I felt that maybe now I can scoop it out of me. I could cut him out. That's a trick. It's nestled in a lie. And that lie is the lie of control. Because the sad, harsh, sodium arctic truth of it, you have no control over your addiction. Absolutely none. But what you do have control over is how you deal with the addiction. And I dealt with it. And then, I got the big diagnosis. Big C. So, what else? The question is, am I just going to give up and give in? And there were times when I felt like I would. It's just too much. And then I said, the big question is really, am I going to give up or give in, or am I going to learn how to deal with this new thing and continue on with my work? Continue with what I found to be my work. And that is exactly what I did. What I was afraid of doing. What I needed to do. Was to come to a meeting, a group just like this, and open my mouth. And I couldn't do it. That is until now.